I could have been bad, bad, bad. I chose to be good. I could have been bad. I chose to be good. I could have been bad, bad, bad. I chose to be good. Everybody sing, whoa, whoa. Let me hear you sing, whoa, whoa. Well, in this life, no man is perfect. Morals and principles he may neglect. There may be time to get back on track. But when a man on top with power can't elevate his people under, there comes a time they must react. Don't take their actions in isolation when they can take no more. It's hard-working people fighting evil, turn rebel with a cause. So when all you see me singing of the bad things going on, join with me cause we in the same boat and let we chant them down.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, the Financial Intelligence Unit is reporting the seizure of over $1.7 million in financial crimes and money laundering over the past year. In news from the region, Central Bank pauses Clico trial for 1 week pending review. And internationally, Europe to suspend approval of U.S. tariffs deal. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life is pumping. Together going strong. No matter what we keep exploring. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Mackelson Ferrol, is reporting the seizure of over $1.7 million in financial crimes and money laundering over the past year. Mr. Ferrell says 2024 to 2025 was a special year for the Financial Intelligence Unit.
For the reporting period, the Financial Investigations Department also seized cash totaling $1,779,680. All monies seized and successfully prosecuted was subsequently deposited into the Asset Forfeiture Fund. Section 33 of the Money Laundering Prevention Act makes provisions that the asset forfeiture funds are to be earmarked to satisfy any obligation of the state. In light of the Money Laundering Prevention Act, intervention was made by the Minister of National Security and Legal Affairs on behalf of the Roseau Magistrates Court, the Financial Intelligence Unit, the Supreme Court, Customs Division, and the Regional Security System. As a result, a total disbursement of $2,042,096.42 was made from the Asset Forfeiture Fund.
Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Mackelson Ferrol. He has called on senior citizens to be cautious and vigilant against online scammers.
Scammers are on the internet, creating fake profiles, sending emails and text messages on dating websites and on social media platforms, creating fraudulent relationships with senior citizens, all in an effort to gain their trust, manipulate them, and take advantage of their vulnerabilities solely to steal their hard-earned monies. The FIU has been receiving reports of senior citizens sending large amounts of monies to persons they met online. The scammers will create fraudulent situation, crisis, for example, family and medical emergencies, loss of employment, in an effort to convince the unsuspected victims in sending monies to them. Some of these scammers also claim that they are in the military or working overseas, making it difficult for them to collect the monies. And as such, they request the victims to transfer money in the name of other persons on their behalf. Recently, one such case involved someone sending over $100,000 over a period of time to someone they met online. Speaking to the victim, this individual is convinced the person will repay and will come to Dominica. Let me advise persons, at no time should you send money to any stranger you met online.
Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Markelson Ferrol. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs says there are unfounded allegations circulating on social media about a national of the U.S. who is on remand at the Dominica State Prison. The statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says while they are not in the business of responding to hearsay and baseless statements, it is felt that these particular statements, which are malicious, being peddled by the opposition, should be addressed. Curtis Matthew takes a look at the statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The statement notes that it is public knowledge that Jonathan Scott Lehrer is one of 2 U.S. nationals on remand at the Dominica State Prison. And in accordance with the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, the Embassy of the U.S. in Bridgetown, Barbados, requested and was given permission to visit and hold meetings with both nationals since November 2024. The statement said it is standard consular practice for diplomatic missions to extend consular assistance to their nationals who are detained abroad. The statement added that, as noted earlier, this has been ongoing since November 2024, and the last meeting between the embassy and the 2 U.S. nationals was held on the 14th of January 2026 virtually. Another in-person meeting is set for February 2026 at a date and time to be confirmed. The government of Dominica says it remains committed to upholding the highest standards of integrity, fairness, and respect in its treatment of all detainees, and has at all times facilitated consular access for accredited representatives to their detained nationals, consistent with established practice. The statement added that to give the impression that this exercise is an attempt to reach an agreement of some sort with the United States government is malicious and misleading. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has advised to allow the justice system to take its course and refrain from making statements that could have adverse effects on the trial. Curtis Matthew for DBS News.
Our thanks to Curtis Matthew for that report. Leader of the opposition, Jesma Paul Victor, says partisan politics had no part to play in her new appointment. Parliamentary representative for Marigot, Anthony Charles, supported Mrs. Victor before she got the green light by the President of Dominica to be sworn in as opposition leader on Monday. Mrs. Victor resigned as opposition leader in June 2024, and the position remained vacant since there were disagreements between Jesma Paul Victor and Mr. Charles, the only other elected member of the opposition.
We, the independent elected members of Parliament, Honorable Anthony Samoro Charles and Honorable Jesma Paul Victor, hereby inform the people of Dominica of our decision concerning the appointment of Honorable Jesma Paul Victor as leader of the opposition in the House of Assembly. After careful consideration of the present circumstances facing our country, we exercised our constitutional responsibility to support the appointment of a leader of the opposition. This decision was not taken lightly, nor was it influenced by political allegiance or personal interest. It was guided solely by what we believe to be in the best interest of Dominica at this time. Dominica is currently confronting significant economic and social challenges. In such periods, the effective functioning of democratic institutions is essential. The absence of a formally appointed leader of the opposition would weaken parliamentary oversight and delay critical national processes. Our country cannot afford a prolonged vacancy in this important constitutional office. Our action ensures that Parliament continues to function in accordance with the Constitution. It enables the proper constitution of statutory and constitutional bodies that require consultation with or input from the leader of the opposition.
The opposition leader says her appointment will advance the integrity of the Parliament of Dominica.
It also facilitates the effective operation of parliamentary committees and strengthens debates, scrutiny, and accountability in the House of Assembly. Above all, it safeguards the people's rights to representation, transparency, and good governance. We recognize that this decision has generated public discussion and differing opinions. We respect those views. However, leadership sometimes requires difficult decisions that may not be universally understood or immediately accepted. We did not act to advance the interests of any political party. We acted to preserve the integrity and continuity of the parliamentary system. As independent representatives, we are not bound by party affiliation. Our mandate is to serve our constituents and the wider public with honesty, fairness, and independent judgment. Supporting the appointment of a leader of the opposition does not compromise that independence. Rather, it reinforces our commitment to constitutional order and democratic stability. We therefore emphasize that this decision does not align us with any political party. We remain independent in thought, voice, and action.
Leader of the opposition, Jesma Paul Victor. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has said he is very optimistic about 2026. His comments came during an interview with journalists at the Ocean Oasis last week. The Prime Minister said 2025 was a successful year for Dominica.
2025 was very successful for us. I mean, we saw the most visitors, tour visitors in Dominica than ever before. And this trajectory will continue in 2026, because all we've been saying to Dominicans, that what we've been doing, for example, the direct flights that we have from North America, the flight from St. Thomas, the flight from San Juan, all of those are efforts towards enhancing connectivity and enhancing access to Dominica, because the reality is, Curtis, we need more and more people to come to Dominica to consume the goods and services that we have. That's how we're going to generate economic activity, by bringing foreign exchange to the country and people spending, so that money can circulate and be in the pockets and the hands of our citizens, so that they themselves can build financial wealth and achieve the Dominica dream that we all aspire to achieve for ourselves. So I'm very optimistic. There are challenges, but Dominica is accustomed to challenges. We look for the opportunities within the challenges, and we take advantage of the opportunities. But I'm very, very optimistic about 2026.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. In other news, Police Chief Lincoln Corbett says that the police will strengthen community policing this year. He says several initiatives, including the mentorship program, are to be expanded as the police move to take community policing to various areas.
We've also introduced under the Community Policing Initiative school resource personnel. These officers are expected to adopt a school and to serve as a liaison between the police and the principal. So again, you will see again this year a greater emphasis on that. All schools around the island will have an officer assigned to that school. We've also introduced a mentorship program in Belfast State Silver Lake area, and again, it's continuing. And it's our intention to expand it as we go along. Interestingly, we also saw this year the establishment of what we refer to as police relations teams. That is, officers residing in a particular locality and from that area have come together. It started in Campbell, it moved to Penville, Belleville-Chopin, Atkinson, and also the Stock Farm area. The idea here is that officers, as I said, residing within the areas will come together to build closer bonds with the public. The intention is we'll do that throughout the island. That again is another arm of community policing relations.
Police Chief Lincoln Corbett. Meantime, a new program to enable residents of the North to receive a driver's license at Portsmouth is to be rolled out this month.
We also saw this year the procurement of equipment for the issuance of driver's licenses in the North. But the intention, really and truly, is that you need not come to Roseau for a simple motor vehicle license or driver's license. And that may sound like a small thing, but it's a big thing because it costs people quite a bit of money just come for a license. And I say, hopefully this year, within this month, we should see the implementation of that. The equipment has already been installed in Portsmouth. People have been identified. It's a matter of training them and running with the program.
Police Chief Lincoln Corbett. Pressing societal issues will be debated among the youth when the inter-secondary schools debating competition gets underway this week. Organizer of the inter-secondary schools debating competition, Trudy Christian, says this year the competition will begin with a knockout round where 6 schools will debate in the first competition.
On the first day of the knockoff round, the first round of the competition, January the 22nd, Thursday, the schools will be taking on this topic. Local communities should have veto power over projects that significantly affect their environment. There will be 6 schools tackling this topic on Thursday. The schools are the Orion Academy, the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, the Wesley High School, the St. Mary's Academy, the Convent High School, and the Alpha Waldron SDA Academy. On the second day of debate, Friday, the 23rd of January, the schools will take on this topic. The legal driving age in Dominica should be lowered to increase youth independence and national productivity. There will be free schools hitting this topic: the Cassabur Secondary School, the St. Martin Secondary School, and the Portsmouth Secondary School. At the end of this round, the competing schools will find out which schools scored highest and therefore get the opportunity to move on to round 2, where they will meet the reigning champion, the Dominica Grammar School.
Organizer of the inter-secondary schools debating competition, Trudy Christian. The competition will take place at the upper campus of the Dominica State College from 2 p.m. That's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life is bumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
In news from the region, the ongoing trial of a lawsuit over the collapse of insurance giant Clico has been put on hold for a week as the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago and the former insurance company current management mull over its future. According to Trinidad's Guardian Media, lawyers representing the Central Bank and CLICO sought the adjournment last week after Trinidad's Attorney General John Jeremy announced plans to end civil litigation over the collapse of the insurance company and its parent company, CL Financial. The application was considered and approved as the trial was set to continue before the High Court on Monday. Feedback on the future of the case is expected to be given when the case comes up for hearing next week, Monday. And internationally, according to sources close to Europe International Trade Committee, the European Parliament is planning to suspend approval of the U.S. tariffs deal agreed in July. The suspension is set to be announced in France tomorrow. The move would mark another escalation in tensions between the U.S. and Europe as Donald Trump racks up efforts to acquire Greenland, threatening new tariffs over the issue on the weekend. That's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next with Ali and Christopher.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life is bumping. Together going strong. No matter what we keep this going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Good evening, I'm Ali and Christopher with the DBS Evenings Sports Report. DFA President Glenn Etienne expects a decision soon on the appointment of a new General Secretary for the Dominica Football Association. The position has been vacant since the DFA did not renew the contract of former General Secretary Jasmine Vidal-Matthew last November. Etienne says the DFA is still in the process of going through the applications.
In the next couple of weeks, when I mean next 3 weeks, even before that, we are searching for a general secretary. A few persons have showed their interest, so it's just a matter of having selected some persons and get the executive involved in it, and then the person will start work as soon as possible.
Again, some might say that it's a few months now that the DFA is operating without an official general secretary. So, how challenging has that been?
No, well, we have had Leandra Bell, who is the acting secretary treasurer. She's been holding her end very good, I must say. So that we didn't really lose out so much, but I mean it's the FIFA policy. That's part of policy that we must have somebody full time at the FA, and we will definitely. FIFA is aware of that. We have discussed that matter with them, so it's not that we're doing anything in the absence. They're aware that we are looking, and they're working closely with us on that matter. Well, it's going to be a local person. I mean, even one person from overseas has applied, but I don't think it's, well, I don't say fair. Well, no, the Caribbean is where you can employ anybody, but it's going to be a local person. Both male and female have applied for this job. So I think it's always in this kind of thing, not that you want somebody directly involved in football, but if you get somebody that understands football, it will definitely improve whatever that is going to help the DFA, rather than having somebody that is, not detached out of football. So I don't think it's going to be a difficult process for us. I mean, there's a few persons, like I said, I will not mention the names, but there's a few persons that have showed interest, and we will definitely select somebody in the next 2 weeks or so.
And that is DFA President Glenn Etienne. Assistant coach of the women's under-17 national football team, Julian Alexander, says the team will go out and give it their best shot at the CONCACAF Women's Under-17 qualifiers. The tournament will be staged in Nicaragua starting this weekend. Dominica has been placed in Group A with the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Belize, and the USVI. The team will leave Ireland on Wednesday. Dominica will play the Dominican Republic in their opening match on Saturday.
From what we have been doing on to today, we have seen a lot of improvement. We are working on a number of things, and the young ladies are implementing it in the pickup games we are playing. We have played a number of friendly games, and they are definitely improving in terms of what we are trying to, or what we are working on to get them to implement in the competition.
Right, sir. What are some of the things from the WIFA tournament which the team took part in just a little over a month ago that have been improved on?
Well, looking at the lead from the back, we are definitely seeing the pace and intensity we have been trying to implement. That is being implemented now. The coordination between the midfield and the wingers is definitely improving. So those things we saw that needed improvement from the WIFA tournament, they have worked on it, and we are seeing the improvement in the games we have played.
Do you feel confident that the ladies have what it takes to move up to the next level from their zone?
From our training, our practices, and our practice matches, their intensity, their energy has definitely increased. And within the last few days, they have definitely brought the energy, and we see what we have been asking for and looking for. They are definitely demonstrating it in our practice sessions and in our last few practice matches.
It was a great experience. I learned a lot. It was a very technical journey. I felt like it helped me a lot in my game, my awareness, positioning, my first touch as well. And just the things I would need to be a better footballer in general.
What are some of the things that really stood out for you?
As I said, the technical ability is exceptional. And the ability to execute a plan, like go out and really do what the coach tells them. Yeah.
All right. So how do you think now this is going to help you? Because, of course, you're getting set for the national team. How has that really made you a better footballer?
First off, I'm much more confident. So I'll be able to play more relaxed, as well as being able to adapt to, as you know, a new coach now, to adapt to his style. And just overall, my knowledge, IQ, my footballing IQ, I think has improved a lot.
So where do you go to from here? I mean, with the training now in your back pocket, where do you want to see yourself now?
I'm hoping to make the team, try my best, put in effort, and hopefully I'm able to travel again, hopefully soon. Well, I see myself executing what I've learned, coming in, hopefully making the team, trying my best, and being able to put what I learned into practice.
That's national footballer Demario Challenger. On to cricket. West Indies T20 captain Brandon King says the Windies has to be able to combat the spin threat from Afghanistan if they are to bounce back in their T20 series. His comments as the Windies went down in the first of 3 T20s to Afghanistan on Monday. King says while the team played well in patches, they have to be able to negotiate the Afghan spinners. The two teams will meet in the second T20 on Wednesday.
Obviously, we're disappointed, to lose a game. I think we showed glimpses of some good cricket, but obviously in the end it wasn't good enough.
I guess when you look at this match, and of course the World Cup coming up, playing in subcontinent conditions, you're up against some decent spin bowlers today. Is that something that you might talk about coming back for the remainder of the series?
Yeah, obviously it's something we want to improve on. And Afghanistan is a team that has quite a few good spinners. So we will talk about it on the day off, obviously, when we review the game and looking to improve in the next game.
Okay, and in terms of your own tactics back in the captain's seat, how did you find it out there this evening?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, to be honest. And I think, our bowlers overall didn't do too badly. As I said, in patches we did well, but not in consistent basis enough to restrict them to a lower total.
West Indies T20 captain Brandon King. Parliamentary representative for Marigot Anthony Charles is rating the 2025-2026 Neville Moose Spear basketball tournament a major success. The tournament ended on the weekend with Marigot Sunrise beating the Dr. Daru Pishlin Sports Club Falcons to lift their first basketball title. Charles says the league met the objectives of helping to bring basketball back to the community.
The competition was well fought out by all teams. Thanks to the teams for coming out and support this league, because I know Marigot is at a good distance for people like Trafford, Dr. Kenneth Daru Falcons. But they came out, they fought it out, but our guys here finally win the tournament after 3 years. We have been having this tournament for 3 years. We'll have it this year because it has been delayed because of the ABA delation. But anyway, we're going to continue carrying on this league so you can enhance basketball throughout Dominica. It's not really a Marigot league. It's a league for the whole island, but it has been hosting Marigot after the ABA, the official league in Dominica.
Just looking around at the vibes, Tony, the crowd, the atmosphere. As the PAL rep, what do you think you can do to help with the plight for the Marigot team to get back into the DABA?
Yes, this definitely we have been talking about that since after the first win, and we have been taking it because we realize the most dominant basketballers are from Marigot, because the two teams that actually were in the finals, each of them had Marigot players on it. And we can see it's proven that they were very, very dominant because they came and represent their village in the Marigot League and they won. So first of all, we're going to send on that team for sure. We'll be going on to the ABA. We're going to try our best to send on that team, and I'll give them full support, and other members in the community will give them support also.
That's Parliamentary Representative for Marigot, Anthony Charles. Interim head coach of the senior men's national football team, Kurt Hurd, says anything less than 6 points will not be acceptable as Dominica gets set for the CONCACAF Friendly Series. Well, that tournament gets underway in March. Hurd, who will oversee the preparations of the team for the tournament, held his first training session with the squad Monday night at the DFA Technical Center.
Yeah, I thought that the training tonight was fantastic. The boys turned up in numbers, the training squad. Obviously, there's competition for places. We're taking a small squad away with us, which always increases that competition for places. The guys came in with a hunger, a real desire. They wanted to learn. They wanted something new, and they completely fed off that. The guys were fantastic. I can't fault anybody out there. Like I say, it was a lot of high-intensity work, but the guys bought into it. And the boys were fantastic. I can't thank them enough for accepting me the way they have into the group.
All right, as we look ahead to the two big games, I know there's not much time, but what are some of the things that you think we need to really address before we get into competition?
Yeah, I think the first one, any time a new coach comes in, is the squad. You know, it's making sure that we get the squad in that we want. It won't necessarily be the same style of play, and therefore that it won't necessarily be the same players that fit that system. So I need to make sure I've got the right squad that suits how we want to play as a national team. And I think that certainly, alongside the quick turnaround before the games, does certainly offer a couple of problems, but good problems to have.
All right, Coach, in terms of style of play, how do you want to play? Or are you not willing to share that?
I can't say the opposition are watching. No, we have clear principles that were given to the players on Saturday. I can honestly say as a coach, I'm not going to sit here and talk systems in 4-4-2, 3-5-2. What the players know, what the staff know, is the principles of play that we have fit any system. So it isn't, I can't stand here and say we want to play this or we want to play that. What I do know is that we are guided by our principles of play, which are clear and were made clear to the players today in training. And we'll continue to work on those principles of play. And as we get closer to game time, we start to bed in the tactical principles based on, once the opposition are announced and I know who we're playing, we can have a look at that and review the opposition and start to look at the more tactical aspect of the game.
Main objectives as you head into the two games?
6 points, but nothing else. I won't accept anything less. I've made it clear to the players I won't accept anything less. We're going there to win 2 games of football, and that's it. When you're at that, we want to play nice football, but ultimately when you're at this level, it doesn't matter how you do it. People just look at the result. But we have to win. We have to restore some pride back in the island, and we plan on doing that with two victories. And I'm happy to say that on camera. 6 points and nothing less is absolutely the aim.
Well, that's interim head coach of the senior men's national football team, Kurt Hurd. Well, with that, we end this evening's sport report. I've been the presenter of the sports report for this evening, Alian Christopher. Of course, Leila Langford brought you the national focus. The evening news was brought to you, Leila Langford. Of course, Alian Christopher once again saying good evening.
And you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So FastPay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. So FastPay,
Flow is keeping you connected.